Hi, I'm April, and this is Bible-Based Life. Usually, I discuss the Bible's advice for nutrition and life, but since there are so many new subscribers here, and also because I've gotten questions a lot about this on the Unlimited Meat video, I thought it was time to share my latest stats and results. Quick backstory. I developed an autoimmune disorder back in October of 2019. It acts like rheumatoid arthritis, but my blood markers came back negative for that, so they just said I have arthritis in multiple joints. I have an appointment with a rheumatologist, so hopefully I'll be able to get some answers finally. I recently flared myself up by accident by just Scotch guarding my new couch. I had no idea what that would do to me, and I'm still struggling with it. It took away my ability to walk for the first few days, and I've had hives every single night, and the joint pain has gotten less so that I can actually work out and do normal things now, but there's always this background pain that was not there before the flare. Anyway, you came to see my numbers and what I'm doing now. So here we go. The last time I tracked my measurements and weight was in 2023. In August. Here's my measurements in August of 2023, which is the last time I took them. Here are my measurements as of August 25th. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a loss, not a huge loss, but I also haven't really been trying to lose weight. I've just been trying to figure out how I'm supposed to eat in general. The lowest recorded weight that I have ever seen in my adult life was 160. And that happened in January of 2023. And that's when I hit the wall with Carnivore and could not lose any more weight. To this day, I still consider myself plateaued from that point. As you saw, I'm 168 now, but not a lot, and I've lost some inches. So hopefully that means I'm putting on muscle because I'm trying to put on muscle. And though I completely stopped tracking, I never stopped working toward my goal. It was always in the back of my mind. I've had this goal since I was 10. I have about 25% of my total body weight to lose as it stands right now in the form of fat. I would like to be around 22% body fat. It's a very healthy body fat percentage for a woman, and I might not ever get there. But hopefully if I get close and the visual is good enough, then I'll be like, okay, I call it, that's close enough. Mostly I just want to be healthy, really healthy. So I'm not sure what my actual ideal weight is. I've never been there as an adult. I've never been that weight. So it's going to be trial and error for me. I started looking into the biblical diet around the fall of 2024. So last year. I've been eating this new Bible-based way for a while before I even decided to bring it to you. Now, the blood work. Glucose, when I was on Carnivore, was 96. On Bible-based, is 88, except when my cortisol is high. More on that later. My A1C on Carnivore was 4.9, which is really, really good. On Bible-based, it's 5.3. Not as good, but still pretty obvious that I'm eating more carbs. I'm utilizing strategies now to lower that number the next time I go in without cutting the carbs. More on that later. The only insulin score I have is from 2023, and that was a 10. I'll try to get an insulin score here in my next round of testing to compare. My CRP is under 1 for both years, both Carnivore and now my CRP, which I believe is C-reactive protein, is really, really good. My triglycerides on Carnivore were exceptional, 27. Now they are 50. Not as great, but still pretty dang good compared to the general population. LDL was 144 and now is 110. HDL was 74, now 70. That's not so great. The total was 226 and is now 190. But I'm really not worried about my cholesterol at all. On some June blood work that another provider had me take, my glucose was 109, which is too high. My neutrophils are also elevated. That can be, and likely was in my case, due to stress. I did a Dutch test in May of this year. It's a 24-hour urine test. My cortisol came back through the roof for all 24 hours. She asked if I was drinking caffeine all day long, and I wasn't, but she said it was like I was putting it in my veins 24 hours a day. My cortisol way too high. And that explains why I have not been able to lose weight. Basically, I've been stuck in fight or flight mode. Completely stuck. I have not been able to lose weight since January of 2023, which is around the time we started working really hard to build this house that I'm in right now. That, my friends, almost killed me. I was just stuck. I was stressed out and tense 24/7, even though the stressful stimulus of building the house is over now. That's done. It's gone. I can relax, but I don't know how. I felt it. I knew it. I didn't know what to do about it. But here's what I've done since discovering this high cortisol issue. I quit drinking caffeine, and I had gotten up to 2 20-ounce cups of coffee. So that's 40 ounces of full caffeine coffee every single day of my adult life, with a few times of fasting or just quitting coffee for a little bit just to get my tolerance back. I never quit before. And I'm not sure I'm actually quit for sure. Maybe I'll use it on the days that I train. I'm not sure. But the best and quickest thing I could do to reduce my cortisol and stress levels was to stop drinking coffee. And I was like a zombie for the first week. But once that went away, I actually started to feel normal again. And I don't even need coffee to wake up now, which is wild. And it had an immediate effect. I could feel. I also started taking the wind down drops from Apothecary. It has worked for me. It's definitely not a wine alternative like they say. It's just not. However, if you just need to calm down, it's wonderful. I really do think they've helped me a lot. I also take a bath with Epsom salt for the magnesium every day or every other day. I mean, I can't always get to it that day, and it's costing me a fortune in Epsom salt, but I think it's helping. I've also cut down on my workload and on my training. I'll make another video about what I'm doing now in regards to training and workouts if you're interested. And if you are, just leave me a comment telling me that you are. And if not, then I'll just get back to the Bible-based stuff. I make it a point to relax, to, tell myself to relax in the evenings, and also to do some breath work. There's also this thing where you push your tongue against one side of your cheek, and then you push it against the other side of your cheek, and you just do that for a little bit. And that's supposed to reset your central nervous system and calm you down. I don't know if that works, legitimately works, but I've been doing it, and it does help me fall asleep, or at least I wake up in the morning having fallen asleep. So it's worth trying. It's free. I do self-fascia release a few times a week, generally, depending on how flared I am. And that also helps reset the central nervous system. I had craniosacral therapy, which is really woo-woo, and I won't be going back. But I can't say that it didn't have an effect. I also can't say that it had an effect. All I can say is it felt like absolutely nothing. So what am I eating now, and how is it going? Weight loss-wise. I've got some chronometer logs here to show you, as well as some pictures of some pretty regular meals. I'm fiddling around with my calories and macros, trying to see what will work for my goals. And I'm not even getting stressed out about it this time. Yay! Usually when I try to track my calories, it throws me back to previous times when I had to be super regimented and restrictive, and I'm just not doing that this time. I am using Chronometer, just the free version, although I'm so tempted to get the paid version. It's just helpful. Helpful to know where I am now and how I can tweak things to get where I want to be. What gets measured gets managed. And if you don't know, you're operating from ignorance. And even though it's a pain, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to collect all the data that I can, and then I'll sift through it later, and I make tweaks along the way. And I just want to mention real quick, thanks to you guys subscribing, I've actually been partially monetized. You can do super thanks if you would like. That would be super cool, and I really appreciate it, but it's totally not necessary. I'm giving you free information here. Here are my new personal food rules. And these are my personal food rules. I'm not saying this is what you should do, but here are some things that I've learned recently that actually have been working fairly well. If I eat bread or any other type of baked good, I have to grind it myself and make it myself. I don't eat out almost ever. I never eat fast food. I haven't eaten fast food since probably 2020, 2021. Been a minute. And I wasn't that into it before either. The fastest food I do eat is like a rotisserie chicken that you grab from the store. And I know those aren't the best, but it's better than, a burger from a fast food place. And if we do eat out, which is super duper rare, normally sushi or K-pot, which is Korean hot pot and Korean barbecue. It's as low carb as you want it to be or as high carb as you want it to be. It's really great. I have been adding in more fruits, more veggies, more legumes, and more grains to my meat foundation. I still kind of have a mental block about carbs. Even the healthy ones, I'm like, ooh, is that going to make me fat? It's so ingrained in me now. I'm having to, I don't know if unindoctrinate is a word, but that's what I'm having to do so that I'm able to move past that mental block. It's a mental struggle, but I'm working on it. But after I did add in the carbs, I dropped weight. So I was 160 and then I gained all the way up to 178, throughout the year when I wasn't tracking. Now I'm down to 168. So I've lost 10 pounds from there. And I haven't been able to break 170 in months and months and months, if not a year and a half, 2 years. So it's nice to finally see progress, but just a little bit of a change. If I have dessert, which is rare, it'll either be some fruit or some dark chocolate or some cookies that I have ground the wheat for and baked myself. I'm drinking lemon juice, like fresh squeezed lemon juice in my water throughout the day. I was just using essential oil drops, but the lemon actually has a mitochondrial effect and sort of a fat burning effect. So, well, that's what Mindy Pell said. So I was like, that's easy. I'll just add it to my water. And then if I eat a meal that has higher carbs, I'll take some apple cider vinegar and water. And also, just the order that you eat your food in can have a massive, massive impact on your blood sugar. So protein first, then you can go with fats or veggies, and then carbs last. So the main thing to remember is protein or fat first, carbs last. And the reason is, yes, everything falls into your stomach and it all gets swizzled around and sent out. But those first few bites, they kind of sink down to the bottom and they're the first ones to be released into your GI system to actually be digested and distributed throughout your body. So you want that to be protein or fat or a mix of both so that your body is set up from the beginning to start digesting those proteins and fat. And that happens slower than with carbs. So if you eat the carbs first, they're the first ones through and they digest really, really fast. So they'll just be flying out. But the protein and fat kind of blocks it, slows digestion so that when the carbs come, they are mixed with the protein and the fat, where that doesn't happen in the reverse order. That's the thought process behind it. And you can see all kinds of people doing CGM tests, eating the exact same meal at the exact same time in a different order. And it has a huge effect on the blood sugar. That's what I'm doing. Now, my rule of thumb for macros comes from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. And she says that protein is most important. Of course, you want to get 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight, which the internet says for me is 120. I'm shooting for 125. We'll see. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to carbs. So say I have 3 meals a day and I have about 40 grams of protein in each meal, then I can have up to 40 grams of carbs in each of those meals. You just don't want to have more carbs than protein. You want to have more protein than carbs. That's fine all day long, or about equal protein and carbs. And then with the rest of your calories, you can add in fats and just sort of play with the ratios to see what's best for you. I'm 5'4". I'm not sure if I can actually get down to 120 or 125, especially at my age, but I'm going to try. We'll see. I'm not stressing about it. I mean, I might be 50 before it happens. I'm not trying to do this quickly. Then I had a stool test where it looks at all of your bacteria and mast cell stuff, because my symptoms sometimes look like a mast cell kind of thing also. So it was interesting to see that I don't have any of that. I don't have histamine problems or anything, but all of my beneficial gut bacteria was low to very low. And one strain, Akkermansia, which is really, really important for reducing inflammation and burning fat, I don't have that guy. I got none. Non-growing is what it says. It doesn't exist in my system. So I've been supplementing for that. And it likes berries and red things like cherries, berries, beets, red cabbage, that sort of thing. So I take the Akkermansia and I feed it blueberries or cherries generally. I'm also taking supplements to rebuild my gut's mucosal layer, which was lacking. I take grass-fed beef liver capsules, collagen peptides, about 20 grams of creatine daily, both for muscle and mental health, a multivitamin, Viviscal for hair and nail growth, and vitamin D every other day, and peptides before meals if I can remember. I do actually practice what I preach and the way of eating that I'm advocating on this channel. Protein, first and foremost. The other 2 macros are negotiable on an individual basis. Whole, clean foods, almost always. I'm pretty good about sticking with whole, clean foods. And I feel fantastic eating this way when I'm not in a flare. Flaring up changes everything. But I know that I can manage my autoimmune illness with my nutrition if I stick to this way of eating. I needed to go on Carnivore to do the whole elimination thing and figure out what was wrong. But now that I've done that and I can add in all of these other foods, they are not flaring me up. I'm able to tolerate them. And I really need these plant foods in order to feed my gut microbiome because everything's low. My digestive system is not functioning properly. So even with taking all of these supplements, I don't know how many I'm actually getting into my body, like how much is being actually digested and dispersed into my cells because of my gut microbiome. I just don't know. So I'm doing everything that I can to heal that. On a day-to-day basis, I feel satiated, way less stressed, nourished, and like I'm on the right path. I'm trying to burn off this excess fat, but very slowly. If I could just trend downward a little bit, I'd be happy with that. I've been flatlined for so long. The moral of this story is stress is a killer. It will keep you from losing weight, from sleeping properly, from breathing properly, and from recovering at all. And I don't think God designed us to be always go, 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 go all the time. So I'm also focusing on lowering my stress. Digging through the Bible for nutritional advice has taught me so many new things. It's informed my way of life completely. And that's why this channel is called Bible-Based Life. I hope you're enjoying this journey through the scriptures. The spreadsheet with every mention of human nutrition in the Bible and more is free. The link is available for you in the description. Next time, the wisdom of Solomon and metabolic switching. See you then.